Yes. Yesterday you are here. Yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
You are not an yesterday. Are you getting it?
Understand the explanation as it goes, but I don't know whether I can start from the beginning.
No problem.
I understand what you are explaining as you're explaining.
Don't worry. I will mail the something to you. I will ask Ugo to just send it, forward the material to you now. Ugo, it's on our mail. Yeah, it's just all the material because they also have not sent the material to you. So the material, the module is there, and you go through the module. All those things are in the module. Even screenshot all those things, they are there. The module.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Should we? Jane has not connected. Of course. I think what really happened was that while we were trying to we were wasting time, I paused and I forgot to on it. That was why we could not get the second one. That's why I'm not pausing now. I think when I was waiting for other people to connect, I paused so that it doesn't lengthy the video, but maybe I forgot to resume recording. That was what happened. That's why I don't want to pause now. Okay. This lady has not. Okay. Who can read for us? Bako, Dr. Bako, can you read your own? Dr. Bako?
Yes, sir.
Can you read the paragraph for us? Let's just use your own. Because the
am I going to share it or
share, yes, share. Because the lady is not connected yet. Maybe it's having problem with the connection.
you have to permit me? It's not.
I've permitted.
All right, good.
Well done. This didn't allow you to enjoy your salad too much.
Hope is the right one that I'm sharing now.
It's a Viagra.
Yes, Viagra.
And that's the only thing we used yesterday.
All
Viagra.
right, that's right. That's right.
The only thing we just put the contrast, no problem.
Is this shared now, sir?
Okay, it has not come. It has not.
Okay.
No, maybe you have not shared. You have to share. You open it. You have to share it through the Zoom.
Okay.
You have to come through the Zoom and share it to us.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You have forgotten.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Me, you are showing you.
Is it on, sir?
Yes, it's right.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. What we did yesterday, don't worry, even without putting those value of that in there, let's see, I think it works.
All right.
What we did yesterday, just go to analyze.
Compare means.
Compare means.
Then
One-way
to
ANOVA.
one-way ANOVA. Then
libido
we
is
looked
the
at
dependent variable.
We looked at libido and we compare with the dose.
Great.
The factor.
Yes. Now go to post-hoc. Go to contrast, not focus. No, contrast. Contrast. Yeah. You now click on polynomial. Click on polynomial. Yes, I just want
polynomial done.
Yes. Then click on the space coefficient.
Yes.
-2. You know the contrast for placebo is -2.
-2 for placebo.
For contrast 1 for placebo. Add. Then the other one is 1. For low dose is 1. For high dose is 1.
And for high dose
is
also
1. For contrast 1. Yes. Click on next. Next. Yes. Then you now have coefficient for the contrast 2. The placebo is 0. You know it's 0.
Yes.
Yes. add, then the low dose is -1.
-1.
1. Then the high dose is 1.
High dose was 1.
1, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So continue. Click on continue. Click on that
Okay.
option.
Okay.
Then click on descriptive.
Yes, option is on.
Click on descriptive. Descriptive. Just to give us the something.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. Okay. Click continue.
Then continue.
Yes, sir. Okay, click OK. Let's see.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, there we are.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. So you see the descriptive statistics. Even the first one he give you this, he give you all this mean of placebo group. We remember the mean is 2.2, low dose 3.2, high dose 5, and
5 years.
And you see the confidence interval of the mean. Then we come to the ANOVA itself. You remember when we run the ANOVA itself, the combine, you say combine, when we are without contrast, this blank contrast, you remember the ANOVA, the mean, the F is 5.119, what we did yesterday, and the P value is 0.25. That's the one first line combined.
That's right.
The linear time, the contrast now. So contrast the what do I call it? The contrast. And when you look at the contrast now, the first one you can now see the deviation. When you compare them, you can see the deviation. You can see the difference in the sum of square. You can see the the sum of square within. This is what we calculate as sum of. But you know, sum of square within, it has nothing to do with the contrast. Yes, I'm not. I said it is the model that is split into two. That is split into the different the contrast you are doing. Okay, look, scroll down. Somebody scroll down.
This is contrast test.
When you now come to the contrast itself, you can now see, okay, this is where people were already tired yesterday. This is where we were yesterday. It's even good that we run it. Now, this one, if you look at the contrast value, you will see that assume equal variance, assume non-equal variance, it's the same. You just say, you remember when you do t-test, we give you two possible values. Equal variance, assume, equal variance, not assume. It's the same thing. So, you know, yesterday we actually did, we did click on it and we'll have clicked on homogeneity of variance. It shows that the variants are comparable. They are not different. So it's appropriate for you to use ANOVA. Because one of the conditions for using parametric test, ANOVA is a parametric test, is homogeneity of variance. So with the homogeneity of variance test, show that equal variance. But you will see something here. The first contrast is looking at, the first contrast look at the difference between the placebo as one group and the combination of low dose and high dose. And the T, can you see, is significant. It's still test you actually carry out there, that contrast. See, yes. But it's only that it collapsed, it has collapsed into two groups now. Look at the T and look at the insignificant. It's telling you that there's a significant difference between the people that take and the people that didn't take. That's what it's saying, telling you now. Now, when this second contrast, what does it do? It look at the difference between low dose and high dose, and it's almost significant. Please note this result. Somebody should know 0.065. You see, you see this p-value. When we do post-hoc test, you see something like that. So you see, comparing low dose and placebo is 0.065. It's almost significant, but you say that it's not significant. So that is the blank contrast. But you'll be asking me, what is this 3.8? What is this 1.8? Is the addition, the mean. It's the mean you are comparing, it's the mean you are adding. Let me tell you the way it works. Here we have coded, what we did was to add in our coding, we had the low dose and high dose in contrast 1. Then we remove placebo from it because placebo, the contrast is minus. You Can you remember -2? Can you remember? Yes. So multiply minus. Are you following me, please?
You know, sir, you know, for the first contrast,
Yes.
placebo was -2.
Yes.
Then, you know, you had the low and the high libido. Now, in the
yes.
second contrast, exactly 1-1. But you remember that in the second, contrast, placebo exactly was 0. And then
okay, let me demonstrate this thing. What do you want to say? I will demonstrate with yourself for you now. But sometimes it's good to. What do you want to say?
No, I understand what you were. I understand what you were saying that in the second contrast, placebo was 2, -2. That's why I was wondering.
No, I didn't say that.
There was an error.
The first contrast, placebo was -2. In the second contrast is 0. Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay. Don't worry. Okay, you can stop sharing.
So
you can stop sharing, Doctor. So no, I have this.
So what that means is. So what that means is that in that table, in that results table we just saw, that one that was significant was the one that was between the placebo and the combination of the high and the low dose.
Exactly.
While in the second contrast, the one that was almost significant was the one that was between the low dose and the high dose.
Exactly. Can you see, man? That's simple.
Okay.
So the first one interpretation said, oh, there's a difference between the people that use drug and people that don't use drug. Then the second one, there's not much difference between people that use low and high dose. So if you want to use, you better use high dose. So, well, let me just say, yes. I want to demonstrate that because there's something I want you to get there. There's something I want you to get there. Very, very important. I want to get to and that's the data. Okay, I will have even copied the data set from the. Okay, what am I even doing? Well, it's better even demonstrate. Dr. Bako. Dr. Bako.
You're going back.
Dr. Bako. He's not hearing me. Unmute yourself. We cannot hear you unless you unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it's not there.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Bako, yeah.
I'm here.
You didn't unmute yourself. Please share again and open Excel, empty Excel, and share. I want you to copy. Okay. What you have, that data set, and paste it on Excel.
All right, let me open the Excel first.
Okay. Because there are some things. There are some things that hate people's understanding, and sometimes you know, if you cannot get the link, so because how I will explain that 3.8 and 1.8 is what I wanted to. Yes. If I just say it to the air.
Now, yes, it's on Excel now. That's
okay.
Okay, let me start sharing.
Copy that data set. Only the value, their value. That's what we need.
It's on Excel now.
Okay, you are great. You are very great. Yes.
Thank you.
You are very smart, Dr. Bako. Now.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So these other two columns, you may delete them, C and D. You can delete that C and D column.
Good one.
Thank you. Now, you know, the first one will be our contrast one. Let's put the value of those contrasts there. That was what we did yesterday.
Yes.
It's -2. Placebo for contrast -2. -2.
Really? I thought it was 2. Okay.
No, -2.
-2 for you did it now. Drag it to just drag. You don't need to type it. Just drag it. If you put your this thing, put your icon black and drag it to number up to 5. Great. Yes.
Right.
The other one is 1, 3. All those one are 1. Just put 1 and drag to everything.
Good.
Go the D.
Right there.
We are going to do for contrast 2. The D. Is 0.
This one is 0 then.
Yes. For the first 5, that's placebo is 0. Drag it to that. Yes.
And
The other
this
one is minus 1.
Minus 1.
Yes, to 5, to 10, to number 10, because that minus 1. Yes. The other one is 1.
Then this one is 1.
Yes.
Good.
Now, so if you add, what I want to do now is that multiply, come to F, F, not E. Let that be
All right.
you want to multiply the contrast. For contrast 1, want to multiply their value with their contrast. So put equal to there. Equal. Click on 3. Click on B, that 3, yes.
B.
Multiply. That's multiply by, you can just
asterisk.
Asterisk. Yes.
Multiply by 2.
Click on their contrast. Click on the contrast. Contrast 1, yes. Yeah.
Then
Press enter. Press enter.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Enter.
Press enter.
So
So drag it to the end.
Great.
So that's their value for each of them for contrast 1.
1.
So their value for contrast 2. Go to G.
Yes.
Do the same thing for the other column.
Right.
Yeah,
3.
3. Yeah, 3 times
multiplied by 2.
No, 0. Not that one. It's D.
D.
Sorry. Don't worry. I'll redo it. Equals to 3
D
multiplied by
D.
This
Yes.
one.
Enter.
D.
Enter.
Enter. All right.
Yes. There are 2 ways to check. Want to check the value of those something. Okay. Click on the below. Want to total them. Yes.
All right.
So start with this. No. Below that 6. The last one.
Okay,
Just
below
click on the
6.
cell below. Start with F. I'll start with F. The other exactly. Yes. Just click on formula for function. Just go and click on formula.
This one?
Click on formula. That formula up. Function.
Oh, yes.
Click on auto sum. Click on auto sum.
Auto sum. Yes.
Yes. Just press enter. It has sum it. Yes.
Yes, so.
Drag. Okay, come and click on that. Okay. You can even drag the 19 to. If you drag it to that place, it will give.
Okay, if I drag 19
it
to
will give the same formula.
Side.
Yes, it do the same thing. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. So click on the cell below 19 now. So click on equal to. Click equal to. Click on 19.
19.
You want to divide it by 5.
So click on 19.
No. On F. F.
Click on the 19. Yes. Divided by.
Yes, I have.
Slash. Put 5. 5.
I have.
Type 5. Enter.
I've typed 5.
Drag that 3.9 to the other place.
3.8.
Yeah, 3.8. Yes. So if you see what you see here is what you see in that something in that result, the contrast 3.8 and 1.8.
That's correct.
Another way of doing what really happens is that
that's correct.
Another way of doing it, if you multiply, if you multiply, okay, what do you do now? If you add, if you want to add all the contrast for it will just waste your time. Another way of getting this 3.8, if you multiply the contrast, the mean for group placebo group is 2.2. You remember the placebo, the mean is 2.2.
Yes.
2.2 times the contrast minus 2 is minus 4.4, right? And the mean for the other one, when you multiply them for their contrast, their first contrast, it will give you the. When you add them together, everything give you 3.8. Yes, I'm now. So what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that just put your cursor, put your cursor on another cell outside, maybe on high. Go to high.
All right.
Type minus 4.4. Type minus 4.4. Okay, go to the next cell down, type 3.2. Go to the next cell down, type 5. Okay, for the other one, J, go to J, type 0. Yes. The first one, type 0, because the total, if you multiply the other one, okay, 0. Then here, type minus 3.2. Minus 3.2. Then this one, type 5. So what I've just done here is that minus 4.4 is the mean for the group, 2.2 times the contrast for contrast 1, minus 2. Then the other one, 3.2, is the mean for the group times the contrast, which is 1, plus 1. This one is the mean for the group times the contrast, which is 5. Then this for contrast 2, it is 0 times 2.2, this is 0. Then minus 1 times 3.2, give minus 1 and 3.2. Then 1 times 5. So sum them now. Sum, you see what will give you. Just sum. Start with this high. Start with high. Okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, can you see? You can copy, and paste. Copy and paste. You can copy it and paste.
Okay, copy this one.
You can copy, yes. Copy and paste.
It's not going to.
No, if you right click it, you copy.
Okay.
Can you see?
Oh no.
You get the same thing.
Now? That's another way of getting that here. What I'm just telling you. So I'm trying to tell you that contrast value. You understand me now?
Yeah.
So what you just do is that, in fact, there's another way you can do it. Somebody is asking a question.
Sorry, my hand is up, sir.
Okay, go on.
Okay, sorry, my internet went off, so I didn't follow you when you got to how you arrived at cell 17. Cell 17F, and then 17G.
Okay. What did you do?
I know that is the summation divided by 5. However, what informed our decision to choose 5?
Because the sample size of each group is 5.
Okay, the sample size for each group is 5.
Yes.
5. Another way of 5 flow group.
That's another way of doing it. We just did now is that if you multiply the mean, you know the mean. Okay, Dr. Bako, put your cursor on H, the first cell in H.
The first
H.
Okay, yes.
Type 2.2 there. That's the mean for group 1. 2.2.
Yes. Yeah.
Type the second row. 3.2. 3.2. The second row.
3.2.
Yeah, the second row. The other one is 5.
Who are they?
Yes. Now,
these are the
Jane, are you listening now?
I'm listening.
Some people are talking in the background. Please, if there's somebody is talking in your house, you may have to mute yourself, please. If you are making discussion, just mute yourself so that it doesn't disturb others. Yeah. So now, I just wanted to see here is that 2.2, 3.2, and 5 are the mean for each group. So how we arrive at I, cell column high, is you multiply the contrast.
The mean.
Yes, the mean by the contrast.
By the contrast.
The contrast 1. The mean, the value of placebo is -2. Multiply -2 times -2 give -4.4. Then the other one, the contrasts are 1, 1. When you multiply them by 1, it gives you the same value of the mean. When you add them together, it gives you 3.8. When you multiply 2.2 times 0 for this contrast 2 is 0. The other one contrast for this low dose is -1 times 3.2 minus 3.2. The other one is 1 times 5. When you add it together, it gives you 1.8. That's the origin of that. I'm just trying for you to look at it from different angles, how you get that. So, is it clear now?
Yes. We can move on.
That was the result, Dr. You can stop sharing, Dr. Bako. That was the result Dr. Bako was showing. Yes, somebody say we can. So look at yes.
Post to Hoc now.
Yes, I want to do post Hoc, yes. So that's the last part of this result. Can you see now? That's what I just demonstrated now. I'll just show you the last part of the result. Look at it. Can you see? And this is the contrast value, and this is the T, this is the P value. So very straightforward. We move on. Now we want to look at post-op. This post-op is more straightforward than contrast. Should not have problem. Post-op procedures. These are pairwise comparisons that are designed to compare all different combinations of groups. So you cannot do contrast and do post-op. It's just a matter of choice. So if you want to do contrast, you choose. But most of the time, people do post-op. Me, I do post-op. I do post-op. I don't do contrast. I do post-op. So there are this one. What post-op does is to do as if it's doing t-test also. So it eventually do 3 tests. You pair them in 3 ways. But they have already adjusted so that that family-wise error will not happen. That's just
eliminated.
Exactly. So they are used when you are interested in exploring the data for any between group difference between me that exists. Data for any between group differences between me that exists. Then pairwise comparison cannot control for family-wise error by correcting the level of significance for each test so that the overall type 1 error rate across all comparisons still remains 0.05. It will not be inflated because they have made the correction. There are several ways in which family error can be controlled. The most popular and easiest way is by just divide the alpha by the number of comparisons to ensure that the cumulative error is below 0.05. That's what Bonferroni did. What is if you are going to do, if there are 5 groups, that's what they are doing 10 tests. You will divide the family error by 10 so that it will be it will set is 0.005 instead of 0.05. Do you get the picture now? So you divide it. So that is what Bonferroni did in his formula, and eventually, so people now criticizing that he overcorrect, you see. So that's Bonferroni correction. So let's just, there are about 18 of these post-hoc tests that you even see. You don't need to bother yourself because they are just complex formula. Turkey, if you go, in fact, you can't see all of them inside one textbook. All the different bets here. You know, over the years, the people that develop SPSS, they gotten advice from many users, and so they had 18 of these things inside it. You can use any of them, you can choose the one you like. So, and the 14 of them, you assume, it assumes that there are equal variances. Then, for 4 of them, if equal variances are not assumed. So, instead of talking, please, let's just run it, because it is the process of running it that it makes sense to you. So, who will run for us? Because the result is already there, but I want somebody to run. Let me stop sharing. Who will run it for us?
Dr. Bako, go ahead now.
Please, sir, while we're running,
someone else will also run it now. It's a learning
another
process.
person will run it.
Share it, please.
Let Dr. Bako go ahead. Let Dr. Bako go ahead.
Is there a consensus, Prof?
Please, somebody else should also run it now.
Dr. Bako, go ahead.
Sir, I didn't get the post-hoc you were explaining, sir.
That's what we want to run now. After we have run it,
we're explaining. Don't worry.
Okay.
Dr. Oyilo, you can run your own.
Okay.
Share.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's
okay.
great.
Somebody's sharing his screen already.
No, but if you can't, if you share, I will bring down mine.
Are you sharing? It was when you were not coming. Even the other time you were supposed to be when you didn't log in on time. That was why I asked Dr. Baku, because it doesn't take Dr. Baku 1 second to share. You know, in our previous training, it was Dr. Balogun that was sharing for us, and Prof and Dr. Baz Abasi. I already said that it's Dr. Balogun that will be sharing. Now they're not saying Dr.
Balogun is appointed a permanent class rep.
Okay, for your set. Okay, that's great. Okay, these are something we did yesterday. You will see that you will notice that by putting the contrast there, actually, the dummy we created, it's not as if, once you just know the value, because you are not going to log it in. If you look at what Dr. Bako ran today, we didn't type the contrast as a variable there. He just typed it as a variable for us to know, so that I will not forget. Yes, Amina. No, so that it will not be in the head. Because if you have your data, you send the data to somebody who doesn't know anything about it, it's good for you to put the contrast there so that people see that this contrast you are using. But otherwise, that's if maybe you need to click on that variable. No, it will give you type it. You have to type it. That was how it did it. The dummy you see I put here is for regression. That one has to be created for you to put in if you are running regression with this data set. Now, what you want you to do now is post out. So go to analyze. You are following Dr. Say you are following Ugo. So go to compare means. One way ANOVA. No, you are not there. You are one way ANOVA. So move the IDOS. No. The libido. Sorry. The libido. What am I saying? Okay, you have already moved. No, you have already done it before. Don't worry. Go to post up. You have already done it. Go to post up. Post up. You are there now. Okay. Why did you cancel? Go to post up. Post up. Yes. So choose. Let's start with wait. Don Ferroni, yes. Click on it. Click continue. I want us to run the conference because I want to go stepwise. Don't want us to be confused. Click OK. Okay. Yes, you can see. Scroll down. You have to expand your distance. Yes. Expand your screen. Expand that thing. Your screen. Enlarge your screen. Click on the yes. Great. Great. Yeah. You will see that it first of all run us. Okay. Can you see? It first of all do the ANOVA, the normal one up. Then the last table is actually what you are looking for. The last table. You will see the last table now. What it does is that as if it's doing t-test. You will see the first column, you see J, which is the dose, which is group. Second column is still J also. What it does is that placebo compare with low dose, placebo compare with high dose.
When I finish.
Then placebo in low dose compare with placebo, low dose, high dose, placebo, high dose, low dose. You know, computer is not a human being. So the way you program is, so there will be a repetition. So the logic is just for us to get the T pair. So in that case now, for it, there will be repetition like that. We are seeing placebo against low dose. You can see the P value. It's not, can you see? 0.845. You see placebo high dose, the P value is 0.25. If you remember, even the P value for the total ANOVA something, if you look, is around 0.25. If you remember.
0.025.
Yes. If you look at low dose, high dose.
To placebo.
No, it's still repetition, low dose and placebo. You see, you know, it will be repeating itself now. But we are looking for low dose and high dose.
And high dose.
1.9, 0.196. So what is the only one that is significant is between placebo and high dose.
And high dose.
So it's telling you that the only difference you find is between placebo and high dose. There's not much difference between placebo
low dose
and low dose, and between low dose and high dose. So it's between high dose and placebo. So what it's telling you is that if somebody is using that drug to make a difference in the libido, you have to use high dose. So for you to, you know, there's no difference. If you want to use high dose, that is when you have a difference between the person that used it and you that didn't use it. Does it make sense now? Now, people criticize. If you look at it, it's like t-test he has done. The only thing is that they have adjusted so that it will not be easily significant. Because if you go and run it with t-test now, it can be more significant than this. Now, if you look at the other thing I want you to see there is that you see the confidence interval also. The same way you interpret confidence interval, the difference in the t-test, or difference between mean is the same. Is the only one, the one that didn't cross one is only the placebo and high dose. The confidence interval that did not cross 0, not 1 rather, please, is 0. This one cross 0. This one did not cross. That's the only one between placebo and high dose. So that's the only. I think we understand that. People that have been in our training, how to interpret confidence interval of the difference between means. Now, another thing I want you to see, the difference between me is this yi minus j. The difference between me. You will see between low dose and placebo and low dose is 1. Forget that it's minus 1. Minus this is 1. It's the same thing because here, why is minus 1? It removes low dose
the
from
higher
value from the higher. Here now it removes lower. Exactly. It's the same thing. It's 1. The difference between, if you remember, the mean for placebo is 2.2. The mean for low dose is 3.2. The difference is 1. And that is what you are seeing there. If you look at 2.8, the difference between placebo and high dose. If you see the mean for high dose is 5, you remove 2.2 from 5, it gives you 2.8. Can you see now? You will see 1.8, which is the difference between low dose and high dose. If you remove 3.2, which is the mean of low dose from 5, it gives you 1.8. 1.8. Does it make any? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to rerun it now because they criticize Bonferroni for overcorrection. I want you to rerun it. We want to put not only Bonferroni, we want to choose LSD, that is least square difference.
Squares.
Choose gain OS method. Okay, go there now. Go back to analyze. So go to that post hoc. Also click on LSD. No, still click on LSD. Go down. Games over. Under variance is not assumed. Equal variance is not assumed. Games over. No, not now. Games over. Yes. Yeah. Click continue. And click OK. Yes. Can you see now? Let's see it very well. So he put all of them. Though it's only one of them you need, but we are just trying to compare. Slow down with that big one. Yes, that's all. And thank you. You will see that this is Bonferroni we have done before. You will see it's the same thing that is significant, so that is significant in all of them. But the difference that you see the p-value for Bonferroni, it was 0.23. Look at for LSD is 0.008. It's more significant. So if you go to GameSoftware, it's less significant. Of course, that one is equal variance, not assumed. So what assumed. I want you to compare LSD and Bonferroni. So if they say that Bonferroni overcorrect, if you look at it, LSD is more loose.
Very, very
loose. Also, if let's say the p-value is around 0.6 or 65 with Bonferroni, it will still be significant with LSD because it will still be small, less than 0.5 with LSD. So that is why many people, they try to choose LSD because if there's any difference there, it's more sensitive to capture it. Is there any question in this one? If you can see, Hugo, do you have any question?
Sir.
No.
I'm just like I'm just looking at this. Is this comparison? This table I'm looking at.
Okay.
And I was trying to understand. You kept on talking about difference. Was it that you subtracted the means? Because you were talking about how -1 is the same thing. There was Like
And
between
that's what they
low
did now.
dose.
Look at it. Look at this. Look at this table. This post-op
Yes.
multiple combination. You see
Yes.
the third column, the first column LSG,
Yes.
the column that say mean difference. Mean
Yes.
difference between the groups. So if you look at it, the first group here is I. That is the first group you single out to compare with the rest is I. Then the other one is J. So I minus J mean that you are removing the difference between the two groups. It's their means now. Difference between their mean. So if you see this one now, the mean for you know that the mean for placebo group is 2.2. For low dose group is 3.2. Remove 2.2 from 3.2, it will give you 1. If you see the mean for high dose is 5, you remove 2.2 placebo from high dose 2.5, it give you 2.8. Look at the mean for middle low dose is 3.2. You remove 3.2 from 5, it give you 1.8. That's all. And that is, you understand now? So, and that is what in the graph I was showing you. Okay, you can stop sharing, Jane. Stop sharing. I want to show you.
Okay, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, the other question I wanted to ask.
Before I stop sharing.
One person after the other, please. Who want to talk?
Okay. Okay, so before I stop sharing, sir.
Okay.
Please, can you be very elementary? Take this table of multiple comparison. Can you take it, be very elementary, sir? Take it one by one. And let me understand this table. I want to be able to digest this table.
That's great. Okay, let me, you know what? I have it on my, this is just stop sharing. I want to see if I can, because I want to do something, because I have analyzed it for many people. I remember one of my friends, stop sharing. Let me bring it up from my computer and show you the way we put the result in Word document. I analyzed one of my friends that was coming to present something in a conference in Abuja here. So after he was keep on calling me, say I should come and be there. I went there to the conference. It wasn't I was going to church, and I said, well, they didn't present your husband, I'm going. I left. Later they presented. He wanted me to be there so that they will not hammer. Because the other people that they did the work together, they said, no, he's the one that did no statistics. She has said she was afraid of the post-hoc for the interpretation. Let me just look for the result. So, but he said when she feeling that nobody, because they didn't understand, nobody even asked anything.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. That they want to understand.
He said, he went to do post-hoc. He said, I said, when did that one start? When did that one start? So, these are go yes. Because I know that yes. Let me just share with you the result, because it's not a big deal. And the way they show the result, yeah. The same thing I have here now. Let me just share with you. Can you see? Can you see the result I'm showing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The initial part is we run look at the ANOVA. Can you see comparison of anthropometry among hypertension classification group? So this is what we use. Look at F for all different variables. There are 3 groups. Can you see now? Group 1, the sample size is 116. Group 2 is 8. Group this is 12. So some of some of these study they are not. It's one group study before, but they just use the hypertensive grade to run it. It's not as if maybe there are 3 groups. That's why you see different is the sample size like that. So when we did the F, those ones that are significant, can you see the weight?
Flagged down.
The weight circumference, the height. AC. What is AC? Hip circumference and BMI and the waist height, waist hip ratio. Those were the ones that were significant. So we have to now do the post-op for them. Can you see all those ones that are significant to know where the different lies? So I now use LSD. Look at LSD post-hoc test for the comparison of the components among the 3 hypertension classification group. Can you see what you just see there? Group I, group J. It's just there are 3 groups. You put one it will just do 2 and 3. We just try to repeat it the way it is there. Though it's repetition, I don't know, maybe it's appropriate, but that's the only way you can capture it for people to see. So what is here is that you see there are 3 groups, 1, 2, 3. You still see 2, 3, 1, 3. What he does here is that he chooses 1.
Keeps comparing.
1 compared with 3. 2, he compared with 1. You know that the way computer does cannot think like human being. Unless you program it like that, for you to give you your work, that will be repetition. So this 1, 2, 3, then 3 by 1. So at the end of the day, you can see that you are looking for 3 pairs.
It's repeating.
Exactly. So Hugo, what is the problem? Go on. You ask a question.
No, there's no problem. No, there's no problem. I just wanted to ask because you said that you noticed that the waist circumference, the hips were significant. I wanted to see how you decided that they were significant from that table. Was it because of the difference?
What are you saying? You see, you know, sometimes you need to domesticate. This thing we did, they are real life thing. There are 3 groups. We did ANOVA. The F is ANOVA.
Yes.
Where it is not significant, look at the p-value here. Once it is not significant,
I can't see the p-value, sir. I can't see it.
Towards the end.
Towards the end, look at
the p-value. Sorry, I've seen it. Okay, don't worry, sir. I've seen it.
Look at the p-value.
I've seen it, sir.
Significant, show that there are different somewhere, but we don't know where.
My phone didn't show it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Okay, my phone didn't show the p-value. Sorry.
Okay. Now,
it should only the table.
Once it's not significant, you read your case. There's no significant difference anywhere.
Yes, exactly.
Where is the
significant? So you have to bring them out.
Exactly. So only the
like
one
regression.
Only the one that's significant.
It's like regression.
How is it like regression?
No, I was trying to just explain that you bring out the ones that look almost significant, or to just now for that.
This one is not even almost significant. It's only the one that's significant. It's not like regression, because the regression, what we do in regression is that when you do your bivariate analysis, any t-test, chi-square, whatever you do, if normally anything that's significant, you go and do regression. But sometimes, if it's almost significant, you still use it because it may, if you run it, it may come out.
It may be.
Yeah, because when you are doing chi-square, by categorizing, you have lost some value. When you categorize, look at age now. If you want to know age as a factor, when you do your chi-square, by categorizing, you have lost some information.
You've lost some information.
For the fact that it's almost significant doesn't mean that. So you may include that age. When you include the age, when you run the age naturally without category, it may come out to be significant. Dr. Babagana.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Can I go ahead, sir?
Go ahead. That's why I call you.
Yes. If I run an ANOVA for 3 groups and it showed that the mean difference is not significant.
Yes.
Do I need to go ahead to run post hoc or LSD?
No. That's the end. That's the end of the show.
All right. Thank you, sir.
If there's no difference anywhere.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Once there's a difference, you cannot hand it. Yes, I mean, but some people hand it because they don't know. There are many things we do analysis because sometimes for all those part 2, if you do say they are doing post hoc, sometimes even the supervisors reject it. It doesn't even because even the student also say no, I don't want to allow. This one is okay. There's a difference.
Yes, so
there's a difference. You can just say, but in real something, so you are supposed to look for where the difference so that you use to explain. So that is what we have just done now. And if you look at it, this one against 2, just for you to look for. There will be repetition. You are looking for 3 pairs, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3. That's all. Once you get them, you look at the difference. You can see the difference in their mean is what is put in here. Forget about minus or plus. Whenever it is minus in mean, you see some will be minus. Look at this one. It's the same thing. In minus here is plus here. This one in minus here is plus. Why it is minus is that when you remove bigger from smaller, it gives you minus. When you now remove smaller from the bigger, I give you plus. It's still the same thing. So the confidence interval, the interpretation is like the same thing. When you are interpretation of confidence are between different between means. Look at it. If it crosses 0, if it includes 0, it cannot be significant. Look at all the ones that are significant. The confidence interval, they don't cross 0. Can you see? They can't cross 0. So the ones that are not significant, the confidence interval start from minus and end at plus. Can you see? They cross 0. They include 0. So that's just it. So Jane, is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear? If it's not clear, let me know. Or you want me to go to the result we did?
No. Please explain with this. Please take it again.
Okay. Look at this one now. This person, they run weight. They compare weight among 3 groups. They saw that there's significant difference from the p-value from the F ratio after the ANOVA. We want to know where the different lies. The weight now, what computer does is that normally you know that when you have 3 groups, there are 3 ways you can pair it. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, you pair it. 1 and 3, you pair it. 2 and 3, you pair it. That is what we did here, but the computer is not like human being.
Okay, I thought that if we have 3 groups, we can only pair them in 2 ways.
No, you can pair them 3 ways. It's not 2 ways. Okay. If you have 1, 2, and 3, you can pair. You can combine 1 and 2. That is 1 way. You can combine 1 and 3. That's 1 way. You can compare 2 and 3. That's
2 and 3.
Okay.
So you yourself, you can try it. You think of it. A, B, C. A and B. A and C. B and C. These are 3 ways. And that is why, you know what, I will share the slide. After we do this, I will share the slide. I've explained it even in the slide. I show it before that no combination for 3 groups, you can only pair in 3 ways. If there are 4 groups, you can pair in 6 ways. If there are 5 groups, you can pair in 10 ways. Can you see the ways the thing is escalating? So now, look at it now. Instead of this thing to pair the 3, because computer is not human being, it doesn't have the, so the only way you can do it to hold one, each of them constant and pair with the other 2. In that case, there will be repetition like 1 and 2 now. And 2 and 3 is the same thing. When you pair 1, you hold 1 constant. When you pair with 2, it's the same thing. I hold it 2 constant, pairing with 1. When you hold 1 constant and pair with 3, it's the same thing. I hold it 3 constant and pair with 1. When you hold 2 constant and pair with 3, it's the same thing. I hold it 3 constant and pair with 2. So for each of them, it will give you 6 pairs here. You understand me now? Repetition. But it's all each of them you just pick. And each of them, those one is repetition because it will give you the same result. Look at it. Look at the p-value. Look at the p-value here now. 0.03, 0.03. Each of them is the same. The 0.282, 0.282. 0.261, 0.261. So in repetition, you will repeat the 3 pair 2 times because of the nature, because it's not human being. But you just pick. So from here now, it is crystal clear to us that there are 2 things that are significant. The difference lies between 2 of the 3 pairs. Between 1 and 3 and between, no, it's only 1. Yes. It's just repeating, it's only 1. It's between 1 and 3. That's all. And it's exactly the same thing that happened in our own study. It's between 1 and 3. It's between placebo and low dose and high dose.
And high dose.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense now?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Any other question?
Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll move ahead, please.
Sir, can I ask a question or make a comment?
You can do that, sir.
Hello?
Go on, sir.
Yes, I'm just, yes, with respect to the post-Hoc, it looks like people are always looking for where they will get significance. Is it not more or less like bias? Many scientific works report the Tukey's HSD, but you seem to prefer Bonforeni, and even the LSD gives you lower. As if we are biased, we want something that will be significant. Is it not more or less a bias? Is there any kind of valid criterion for making a selection. Look, what I want to use is Tukey's honesty desire, and there is a justification.
And you have answered the questions, and because most of the time people use something they are familiar with, they have justification for. They may tell you the reason they say that. Even the people that use bufferoni, they will may explain. People that don't like bufferoni, they want to use with the one that is more loose, like LSD.
LSD.
They will tell you that bufferoni overcorrects. If it overcorrects, why should they use it? So you get the logic now. So it depends on the interest, what you want to achieve. So that's just it.
I was even about to say that if, for example, you're trying to compare, let's say, lethal dose, you're trying to do dosages that are, even if it's like a little dose can be very lethal. Like, you know, there's a way they tell you that you have to make sure that you reduce it. Like, for example, you know, in some cases, they'll say use p-value of less than 0.01. Maybe in this case, you use the one that overcorrects, like bufferoni. I guess it depends on the situation. If you are doing an experimental study and the drug you're comparing is such a drug that, you know, it's so potent that you have to be, and but to treat that thing is what all you need is just a tiny dose of that, you know, potent, because maybe when it's potent it can become toxic. I don't know how to explain it, but
okay. No, all this we are just discussing. Researchers have different reasons. Like now, if you are the one that's reviewing, you have your opinion. That's why sometimes if I want to publish your this thing, you are the editor, you are delayed, I give it to another editor, he will publish it. So when it's a peer review, sometimes you tend to publish with people that think align with you. If somebody is already doesn't think in line with you, they will not likely pick your paper. So, and just like what Prof said, people try to, if something is not significant, if there's no significant finding, people would like to publish it. If you send the result as not, they would not like to publish it. So that's why people will try to make their work to be significant. You get it now. So they try to use something that make it significant, what they are looking for. So that's just it. So it's a matter of choice and this thing. To me, even the p-values is arbitrary. You know, in medicine, they don't, if you want to publish in Lancet, they don't even like it. They don't like p-value. They prefer you talking about confidence interval. Yes, okay. They don't like a p-value. They say, what does it mean? And that is why the logic behind, even when you are doing regression, anything that see a p-value is 0.0 some, even if it's 0.09, they still include it in regression. They don't want to discard it. Just like what is the difference between 0.05 and 0.06? What's the okay. Different? You get a picture. So those are the issue about life. It's just like somebody scored in his medical school, you scored 50, you pass. 49.99 fail. So what is the difference? And that person pass, become doctor. The other person has receipt. You get it? Just imagine that escape. So so there's no. That is why there's no perfect thing. Let me tell you something. You can tell lie with statistics, but people do it a lot, and that is why in one of my magazine, well, it's not my magazine. I put in his magazine of the former UK Prime Minister. What's his name? He said that there are 3 kinds of lies.
Tony Blair?
Lies, no, it's not Blair. I've forgotten. It's not Blair. Before that one, the old one, popular. Yeah, there are 3 kinds.
Is it the one that says that lies, damn lies?
Yes, and statistics.
Is it the one that says lies?
Yes, unless I shoot, it's in my slide now. If you look at
it's actually your slide. I should see your slide somewhere.
Okay, let's just continue. Let's continue. Please permit me to. I've saved the first one. I've saved this successfully. Let me close this one and save it also, and be saving it and log it.
Okay, sir.
So that it will not be, because we are spending around 1 hour, so that we go to the last track. Thank you.